역시나 누구나 예상했던 대로 오징어게임 시즌3는 공개된 후 비영어 시리즈 부문에서 글로벌 1위를 기록했습니다. 그와 함께 영어 영화 부문에서는 한국을 소재로 한 K-팝 데몬헌터스 애니메이션이 1위를 달리고 있죠. 이 정도면 한국 문화가 인정과 동경의 대상이 되었다는 한 가지 반증이라고 할 수 있겠습니다. 하지만 국뽕 샤워는 시원하게 하되 너무 취하면 보기가 흉하죠. 구독자분들은 아시겠지만 저희는 칭찬만 골라 담거나 영상에서 소설을 쓰지 않습니다. 오직 해외의 시선으로 우리의 진짜 위치가 어디쯤인지 함께 인지하자는 거죠. 이번 영상에서는 오징어게임 3에 대한 해외 시청자들의 생생한 반응을 들어보겠습니다. 뜨거운 찬사부터 신랄한 혹평까지 가감없이 전해드립니다. 우리들의 이야기를 함께 나누는 스토리 코리아입니다. 바로 시작할게요.
مراجعة الموسم الثالث من مسلسل سكويد جيم لعبة الحبار. الموسم الثالث كان جدا ممتاز. أكثر شيء عجبني وخلاني أقول عن هذا الموسم إنه بيرفكت بكل معنى الكلمة المزيج اللي صار ما بين الدراما، الإثارة والتوتر، إنك تقعد على الكرسي مشدودة أعصابك لحتى تعرف إيش بده يصير بهاي الشخصية وبهاي الشخصية. فالكاتب عمل ليفل أب بهذا الموضوع، بصراحة عمل شيء جدا جدا قوي. 6 حلقات، هذا الشيء بيعني إنه الرتم سريع ما حتحس بأي ملل، بالإضافة إنه التسلسل الأحداث والأشياء الدرامية والروابط ما بين الشخصيات كانت جدا ممتازة، لحتى وقت شخصية تموت تتأثر بكل معنى الكلمة، وهذا اللي بينقلنا للآخر إنه النهاية حزينة. التضحية صديق التضحية والرسائل المطروحة بهذا المسلسل إنه الناس اللي عندهم سلطة هن دائما بالقمة، لحتى يتفرجوا على الناس الموجودة بالقاع، الناس اللي بتحاول تصارع للبقاء على قيد الحياة. فالأفكار المطروحة، الإثارة والدراما والحزن، كل شيء كان عم بينعمل بطريقة جدا ممتازة. هذا الشيء اللي بيخليني أعطي تقييم للموسم الثالث 8.5 من 10. أعطيني رأيك وتقييمك عن المسلسل تحت بالكومنتات.
เพิ่งดู Squid Game จบเมื่อกี้เลยตอนนี้ตี 4แต่มันเป็นการดูที่แบบกรอนะเพราะอยากรู้ว่าตอนจบจะเป็นยังไงกลัวจะโดนคนอื่นสปอยก็เลยสปอยตัวเองก็เลยนั่งดูไปจ้าสปอยแบบไปคิดต่อเองคือเท่าที่เห็นตอนจบนะมันดูหดหูมากเลยอะแล้วไอ้ที่เราเชียร์กันนั้นก็คือแบบตุยเย่หมดสรุปแล้วผู้รอดชีวิตคือผู้เล่นคนใหม่ค่ะงงมากฉันว้าวนะฉันแอบว้าวตรงที่แบบเฮ้ยทุกคนที่ทุกคนเชียร์หมายถึงแบบตัวละครในเรื่องที่ทุกคนเชียร์มันแบบอ๋อสรุปมันคือไม่ใช่จ้ามีตัวละครใหม่โผล่ขึ้นมาแล้วนางก็รอดว้าวด้วยนะคนคิดบทคือแบบฉันว่าโอเคเลยมันหักมุมที่แบบว้าวไปดูกันนะเดี๋ยวก็จะไปตามนั่งไล่ดูแบบปกติเอาไปคืนนี้นอนได้แหละสบายใจแล้ว
Off the bat, I'm shocked Guard 11 let player 246 live. I'm so invested in her storyline, and I love that they've already given her so much more attention to start the season, but I can't help but think that she has an even larger plan that we don't know about yet. This is no surprise to anyone, but we got official confirmation that Captain Park is working directly with the frontman. Speaking of the frontman, In-ho is still a ruthless bastard, willing to eliminate his own brother if it comes down to it. And if his goal was to break Gi-hun, he succeeded, because that man is shattered. We're already seeing a completely different version of him this season. More on that. The game in this episode needed to be called Sword and Key instead of Knife and Key, because what is that? The butcher knife in my kitchen is smaller than that thing. If I were on the blue team, I know I'd be pissed. But I just want to say that I 100% called the Knife and Key game being a diabolical game of hide and seek. And making a game that's solely focused on one team trying to literally unalive the other is crazy. It directly asks the players how far they'd go for money and for their lives. But man, between Jung-hee and Myung-gi and Player 7 and his mother, I know this season is going to freaking break me. But let's finish by talking about how that man Gi-hun had a look in his eyes that had me feeling like he's about to be more dangerous than John Wick. Like, if I'm the blue team, there is nobody on the red team that I'm more terrified of than him.
Squid Game Season 3 was promised to be a dramatic conclusion to one of the most watched shows of all time, but instead it ends in a predictable whimper. After Squid Game's 3 seasons of brilliant character building, Ji-hun deserved an ending to his story that was new, different, exciting, and would be talked about for years to come. Instead, the ending to Ji-hun's storyline is insanely predictable and cliche throughout. You can see it coming from a mile off, something that a character of this magnitude definitely didn't deserve. Definitely not all bad with Squid Game Season 3. The 2 new games that we saw in Hide and Seek and Jump Rope are fantastic. They provided some tension-filled and emotional episodes, which I was not expecting. Within those 2 games, we did see some death sequences that were totally unexpected for me. that definitely raised my expectations for the ending, hence my disappointment. I definitely don't think we saw enough of the frontman in this season, and the VIPs that he brought along were the most jarring part of the show that I have ever seen. But overall, I feel like Squid Game Season 3 can be summarized very easily by the end scene. The fact that we're being teased in American Squid Game already feels like Netflix is trying to milk the cow whilst it's popular, not really caring about the quality that is on show.
Quand j'avais vu la saison 2, à propos de la fille qui est enceinte et qui joue, j'avais dit, mais si le bébé il naît, est-ce qu'on lui met un survêtement vert et on le fait participer au jeu? Ha ha. Et bon, le bébé en CGI, il est complètement dégueulasse. Bon, après, un vrai bébé, je trouve ça déjà assez dégueulasse, mais le bébé en CGI, c'était horrible. Horrible. À part ça, en vrai, finalement, je suis un peu déçue. Bon, j'avais dit au départ, j'étais pas une grosse fan. J'ai juste adoré la saison 2, mais vraiment adoré. J'ai adoré le début de la saison 3, les 3 épisodes que j'avais vus ce matin, enfin surtout l'épisode 2, en fait, je l'ai trouvé excellent dans tout. Le jeu, je le trouve super bien construit, dans la structure, dans les règles cachées qui n'étaient pas dites au départ et qui apparaissent, dans ce qui se passe avec les personnages. Je suis très sensible aux personnages dans les séries, c'est ça qui me fait aimer une série ou pas, c'est surtout les personnages. Donc vraiment, j'ai adoré ce 2e épisode. Et après, en fait, j'ai dû partir dans l'après-midi, je suis revenue, j'ai vu la fin, et bon, ça se regardait bien, quoi, sans plus. Un peu comme la saison 1, j'ai trouvé que c'était sympa, sans plus, finalement. J'ai juste une petite mention spéciale sur vraiment la toute fin, je parle vraiment de la dernière minute, donc là c'est l'absolu du spoil, enfin bon c'est pas non plus un spoil énorme, mais je vais parler vraiment de la toute fin parce que, alors il me semble avoir vu, mais vous me dites si je me trompe, enfin j'ai recherché effectivement, il y a cette rumeur qui circulait à un moment, que il voulait faire une adaptation américaine de Squid Game, et comme ça finit sur donc le personnage qui est aux États-Unis et qui voit passer justement quelqu'un en train de jouer au jeu avec les carrés bleus et rouges pour recruter des gens aux États-Unis, je me suis dit que c'était une fin très marrante s'il y avait vraiment un remake américain en préparation, surtout qu'un remake c'est jamais très très bien et c'est jamais très intéressant, mais si vraiment la version coréenne a fait cette petite blague à la fin pour faire la transition, j'ai trouvé ça assez marrant. Voilà.
What was season 3? Don't get me wrong, I loved it. But then, and then, literally, no one who entered them games, apart from 246, no one came out alive. Every single person that was in the game is dead. Again, apart from 246, because he escaped. But every baby win. I'm not, I have one thing I want to say. For my girl Jun-hee, the girl, everyone knows, the pregnant one, she had a baby. I thought the games were supposed to be fair and equal. Isn't that the whole point of, in season 1 where the girl got taken out of the marbles game because there wasn't enough people? Because it wasn't fair. Surely, if it's supposed to be fair, the girl just gave birth. She's got an injured ankle. She can't jump. How is that fair? Generally thought the frontman was going to do something about that, But no, I was pissed. Don't get me wrong, I was very sad for my girl, player 149 Gumjar. She hung herself, again like the guy in season 1 who lost his wife. I can't lie, I'm happy she went out the way she did, only because if she went in the jump rope game, she probably would have died then, and she would have had a horrible death. This way, she went out on her own terms. Who can complain? But MG Coin, yes, I'm looking at you. There was no need to be killing my girl 120. What was that? She was about to save your girl and the grandmother and your baby, and there you go, and then you go and stab her in the back. You are messed up, mate. And then at the end, he was holding the baby like this over the edge. I generally thought, I was like, nah. And then he fucking went over. And then Ji-hoon climbed up, and the game hadn't even started yet. That, for me, I knew what was going to come. So, rest in peace, Ji-hoon. I will have a drink in your memory later. But the thing I want to talk about is we're getting Squid Game USA. We're getting a spin-off of the Squid Game. You saw that blonde woman at the end slapping the homeless man. It's going to happen all over again. But the only question I have is, did she recognise the front man? Because she gave him that look. So, did she recognise him? I didn't understand that bit. But yeah, my review of Season 3 Squid Game, it was good, but it was also very messed up. Very, very messed up. But I can't wait to see if they bring out any more, so...
En fait, Squid Game, je sais pas. Vraiment, Squid Game, je ne sais pas. On est dimanche, je suis affalée dans mon canapé, je n'arrive pas à décrocher tellement je suis dégoûtée depuis hier soir. En fait, je me suis dit, vas-y, je prends 2 jours, 3 épisodes par jour, comme ça je savoure et tout et tout. Qu'est-ce que j'ai savouré? Dites-moi, qu'est-ce que j'ai savouré en fait? Alors, je dis pas que j'ai détesté. Ce serait mentir, en vérité, franchement. Pour moi, de toute façon, Squid Game, toutes saisons confondues, c'est un banger. Il n'y a rien à dire là-dessus. Sauf que cette saison 3 est moins bien, à mon goût, que les 2 autres. Alors, je ne sais pas si c'est parce que je suis dégoûtée de la fin et que j'aurais espéré une autre ouverture ou que j'ai vu tous mes personnages canner un à un, je ne sais pas. Mais en gros, pour moi, il y a eu quelques incohérences et il y a eu beaucoup de choses qui m'ont dérangée. Déjà, le mec qui cherche une île pendant je ne sais pas combien d'épisodes, qui finit finalement par la retrouver pour aller voir son frère et lui dire pourquoi t'as fait ça, je sais pas. Je sais pas si c'est vraiment utile ou pas, en fait, finalement. Après, je sais pas vous, mais moi, l'histoire du bébé, là, ça m'a grave dérangée. En fait, t'as tellement de cruauté face à un petit être tellement innocent que pour moi, le contraste, il est trop fort. Je sais pas si c'était le but recherché par les créateurs de la série, mais vraiment, le contraste est trop fort. Je trouve que c'est un peu trop dur à ingurgiter, quoi. Sans parler des effets spéciaux que, voilà, j'ai pas forcément kiffé. Le gamin il naît, il y a eu 0 douche, 0 couche, il a eu un biberon de toute la saison. Tu vois déjà niveau réalisme chelou un peu, tu vois. Et même si on passe le côté réalisme et tout, pour moi mettre un bébé c'est vraiment trop cruel. Alors je ne sais pas si c'est fait exprès, je ne sais pas s'il y a un message ultra puissant derrière, parce que bon, le bébé c'est vraiment l'innocence pure, d'accord, mais ça va trop loin, c'est parti trop loin je trouve. Et vraiment, pour moi, cette fin, elle m'a dégoûtée. Vraiment, elle m'a dégoûtée. En fait, je suis même pas étonnée. Ça m'a pas surpris, parce que c'est Squid Game. Donc, en fait, dans la logique des choses, voilà. Pour moi, en tout cas, j'aurais aimé avoir un petit peu plus d'espoir sur cette fin. Quelque chose avec un petit peu plus de justice. Que, par exemple, les VIP soient finalement pris par, je sais pas, des forces armées extérieures qui finalement réussissent à trouver l'île à temps et que tout le monde soit libéré avant qu'il y ait autant de morts, etc., etc. Je m'attendais pas forcément à ça, mais je me suis dit, franchement, s'ils font ça, banger de ouf, tu vois. Et après, comme je dis, je suis pas surprise non plus de cette fin-là. En fait, il y a matière à débat aussi, donc je sais pas, je suis mitigée, mais je suis dégoûtée. Et j'arrive pas à décrocher, vraiment, vraiment, j'ai pas les mots. Je vous jure, quand j'ai vu 456 déposer le bébé, commencer à comprendre que, vas-y, bah... la seule solution, c'est ça pour lui, parce qu'il a encore une once d'humanité. Donc, en fait, il se dit, vas-y, je me sacrifie. On voit le plan de lui qui descend là. J'ai voulu éteindre la télé. J'étais énervée, j'étais dégoûtée. Je dis, bah non, non, vas-y, j'arrête là. En fait, c'est bon, j'étais prête vraiment à appuyer. Mais je suis dégoûtée, les gars, je suis dégoûtée. Dites-moi ce que vous en pensez en commentaire. Dites-moi si vous avez des théories, dites-moi... si vous avez grave kiffé, dites-moi si vous êtes dégoûté comme moi. Franchement, j'ai besoin d'en parler là.
I like that the CGI baby ended up winning Squid Game. Why? Because it was an absolutely needed ending. I hate people saying we should have had a happy ending. There's no such thing as a happy ending in Squid Game. Have you seen season 1? Have you seen season 2? Have you seen season 3? Like, Squid Game cannot have a happy ending. Physically, it is impossible because people are dying. People are dying. Everyone has died. It's not supposed to be happy for anyone. And even if Gion had won in any way possible, he would still be tormented by guilt. He would still feel terrible, and he'd have money, but he'd also have depression. So it's like, nothing's happy for anyone. The ending was needed. It was needed. It's the fact that the baby represents so many things in this situation. I think, in my opinion, it represents an innocence that Gion was carrying, because Gion was always carrying the baby, but he was also always carrying his innocence. It was hard for him to see things in a different perspective, and in a different light, which is kind of like innocent, right? It was hard for him to acknowledge that it was his fault for some of the things. It was hard for him to acknowledge that humans can be bad. He kept on like with this perseverance and his motivation to continue the games is that like humans can be good and the games can be ended, and that was the innocence that he kept with him, and that was like the baby, right? Where the baby represents something. And this is another message that I'd say, is that relating to Gion's last words, when Gion says, we're not horses, we're humans, we are. And that's it. It cuts off. I think that relates to the baby, and that relates to the message of the entirety of Squid Game. It's saying that the players, the workers, the VIPs, every single person involved in this kind of thing is a human. humans are not inherently of the same nature. Things just happen. And the fact that the baby is there represents a human who can't make decisions, a human who is not here or there, a human who is not good or bad. It is just a human. And it is saying that humanity can be altered in so many different ways, but the baby is not. The baby can't make decisions. It can't do anything. It's kind of helpless. And that represents the fact that humanity is not determined inherently by anything. It's not good, it's not bad, and it's not going to change. That's the way that things are. And I love that the baby represents that. And I love the fact that Gion kind of separated his greed and everything. He sacrificed it all just to save the innocent perspective that things could go well for someone, maybe not for himself. And he sacrificed selfishness and greed and everything that the VIPs and that the frontman and everything that like the creator, everything that they thought about humanity and about the games. He ended it all with this revolutionary idea that someone who has made no decisions in their life and is completely like limitless can continue and can win rather than yourself. And I completely adore that. And I think any other ending would have not made sense. It would have been terrible, and it would have not conveyed the message that Squid Game's trying to convey. And I think you're all dumb little children if you think that it should have ended any other way. And it could have ended any other way and still been as meaningful, as impactful as a show as they are trying to be. And you can be mad all you want, but it has meaning, and it has significance, and it is just going completely against capitalism and the way that humans have been viewed as just bad. Like, we are so selfish and we cannot change, when in the games you see people being selfless, you see people being helpful and good. At the same time, you see people being terrible, you see people killing each other, and you lose faith for that kind of thing. And it's like, I love how the ending was a mixture of season 1 and season 2, because season 1 had this message that it's like, well, Gian won by luck. He didn't win by being a terrible person. He didn't, like, most of the time try to kill anyone intentionally. But he was a good person. But he won because of luck. And so there's still faith that you can have in humanity and in Gian in being a good person and being, you know, he was philanthropic with his money. He was just overall a good person, and you could see the good. Like, especially when he meets up with the creator of Squid Game and they do that whole challenge, like, wait till midnight to see if the person on the street gets helped. And they do get helped. And I like that it shows that there's good in the world. And then the second season shows the opposite. It says, do you have faith in people now? It says, like, people are not inherently good either. Like, you should not always continue to have faith in them, because these games are going to keep going. And I love that they added in the voting, because people, even after every game, they're going to keep voting for more games. The way that money and greed controls them, they're going to keep voting for others to be killed just for the gamble that they themselves could win. And this third season conveys both those messages at the same time. Gian sacrifices himself. It says there is good. And then it ends the games completely. They're done. And everything is in ruins. Everything's over. Everyone has died, and the whole place is gone except in flames. And I think that is the best representation of, like, have faith in a way. We're not horses. And that revolutionary idea of a baby instead of a human adult who is selfish and self-centered, and a baby who is innocent and cannot make those decisions, doesn't even have any thoughts, could win. That was new. That was novel. And it really helped for that case. And then in the end, when they show the, like, American scene, when he's in LA and he sees the lady playing Dakti, it's like the bad always continues. We see the cycle happening again. And it happens everywhere. To all of us, we're all connected by the fact that we could be bad and we could be good, but the cycles keep happening. And people are going to be good in a cycle, and people are going to be bad in a cycle, and the games can continue everywhere. But no one's going to say no. So, yeah, I really like that. That's my analysis of Squid Game. If you hate Squid Game Season 3, go fuck yourself.
Not only are people saying that Squid Game Season 3 is the worst season of them all, they just confirmed we are getting Squid Game American version. So during the Season 3 finale, we get this clip, the final scene where this lady was playing Dachi with a homeless man in the back alleys, where they are in the state of Los Angeles, California, where in this game they are seen playing the Dochi game with the red and blue cards. In the clip driving by, we see her look at this guy in the car, and it is the front man driving by and rolling down his window, and they stared at each other for the most longest time, and this means that she is 100% recruiting players in Los Angeles who play the next version of Squid Games. And the guy who created Squid Game literally said that he is okay with them making more Squid Games, even though he said that he's done making Squid Games. They just gave us a hint what Season 4 is going to look like. However, a lot of people are saying that Season 3 was the worst season so far because it was rushed and had a very unsatisfying ending. Since Season 3 of the Korean version was so bad, it's even going to get more worse once it becomes the American version. The ending of Squid Game Season 3 was so sad, especially what happened to player 222 and 456. A lot of people did not like the CGI baby. Did you like Season 3 of Squid Game?
Oh god, we got the front man, bro. Oh god. Oh. okay. I forgot that Netflix is trying to do an American Squid Game, huh? They really just said, here you go. Here's what's coming next. Bro, put me on it. You might as well put me on at this point, man. I need some money. Damn! Yeah. I'm sorry, it's not funny, but it's funny, bro. She just backslapped the shit out of me. Oh, boy. Well, here we go. It's American Squid Game time, baby.
Let's go again.
And that homeless guy is trapped for life. That's crazy. They are trying to get American homelessness to go into Squid Game. That might actually cook, I'm not gonna lie. That is a very sad, effed up. That's a pretty effed up ending, bro.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, we're tying it into the English one coming out. 100%. What? What the f***? You can't jump scare me with Kate Blanchett. What the f***? What?
Squid Games USA confirmed. This is going to be absolutely sick. I don't know if this is a glitch or what. But which are you most excited about?
오늘은 오징어 게임 3에 대한 해외의 의견들을 함께 살펴봤습니다. 여러분들은 어떠셨나요? 의견 나눠주시고요. 오늘도 함께 해주셔서 감사합니다. 우리들의 이야기를 함께 나누는 스토리 코리아였습니다. 다음 영상에서 다시 인사드릴게요.